everybody, and welcome to the Meybohm Perspective. I'm your host, John Cates, and with me again, John Chambers. John, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, sir. You good today?
I'm good. I'm good. It's been a good week.
It has been.
Yeah.
Yes, it has.
Well, what we wanted to do today was to sort of talk a little bit about some headlines and what's happening in our industry, because I think that there's always sort of the headlines and the story behind the headlines. And,
Yep.
As we go through this, I think this is very helpful for our agents and also for the community at large.
Absolutely, it is. We were in Realty Alliance in Memphis a couple of weeks ago, and that was just when that big acquisition or buyout, whatever, happened. And obviously that was kind of the talk.
Yeah, that's right.
So, I'm looking forward to kind of talking through that. What does it mean? Why is it happening?
Yeah.
Where is it all going?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get into it.
All right. Well, we'll flip the script a little bit. I know that usually you kind of do host and interview, but I'd rather interview you this time on this. So,
all right. Well, let's do it.
Well, and I say that because, I've been watching this stuff like everybody has, and I've been really intrigued by what's happening and why is it happening. And so, we talk about these consolidations, acquisitions. First of all, tell us, before we get into why is it happening, just an overview of what is happening.
Sure.
We've seen a lot of that in the market.
Yeah, I think over the last, particularly 5 to 6 years, we've seen a lot of new competitors come into the real estate space.
Mm-hmm.
And that's anything from mom and pops, but what we're really talking about here are large brokerages. I mean, brokerages whose goal is to get to hundreds of thousands of agents.
Mm-hmm.
And I think obviously part of the reason why is, with the internet and AI and all those things, a lot of them are cloud-based companies. So lower infrastructure, lower cost, more agents, and they're really all built around technology. They all want to have their own proprietary technology platform.
Right.
And so what you're seeing is there's been, and this happens across different industries, but lately real estate has kind of been the place for outside investment, both national and international investment. And then a lot of these companies going public.
Yeah.
So a lot of what we're talking about are publicly traded real estate companies. And I remember even several years back, there weren't that many of them, real estate brokerages. I'm not talking about REITs or other real estate companies. I'm talking about real estate brokerages.
Yeah.
And so as more and more of those have come online, that's sort of the game that public companies play, is mergers and acquisitions. So because there are more of them, what we've started to see is more of these larger public companies buying or merging with companies that have been around a long time.
Yeah.
And names and brands that maybe you grew up with.
Sure.
That have been around a long time. So that's what we're starting to see, is that consolidation has hit the real estate brokerage industry.
Yep.
And a lot of what you're seeing is companies that have been around 3 to 10 years are starting to buy and merge with companies that have been around for decades.
Yeah, it's really interesting because it's this kind of thing has been predicted for a while. I mean, you listen to podcasts even a couple of years ago, some of the industry experts were saying that this was going to happen. You're going to see, just big giant companies and some boutique companies. But, and now not just being predicted, we're seeing it happen.
Yeah.
So, when we were at Realty Alliance, there was a comment made that got me thinking, and I wanted to do my own research. I want to read you the question that I put into ChatGPT just to see what it would say.
Sure.
And I did this based on a comment that one of the speakers made when we were in Memphis. But here's what I asked it. I said, in regards to these large real estate companies consolidating and acquiring other companies, are there any articles, reports, or other information available that would suggest that the ultimate goal of these companies is to deal directly with the consumer, either eliminating or reducing the need of the real estate agent? And I did that just thinking about they want to control the platform, the whole process.
That's right.
And so I put that question into ChatGPT, and the answer it gave me was yes.
Yeah,
and then it gave me
a bunch of stuff.
Several items or evidences of different articles. So what do you make of that? That's kind of a scary thought if you're a real estate agent, that they're wanting to control me or even reduce or eliminate me.
For sure. And there's a couple of things to unpack there. So first is sort of the role of the agent overall
Yeah.
across every company,
Right.
and the role of the agent in these companies.
Sure.
So I think we'll start with the role of the agent in these companies.
Yeah.
So you and I've talked about this. I mean, when you on your own, you know, a lot of these companies are public. They file reports with the SEC like they have to. They do interviews. They do podcasts. They do their leadership talks to a lot of different people. They write articles. They comment on articles. And AI obviously is great at, you know, taking all of that information and giving it to you in an easy, digestible format.
Yeah.
But you can do it on your own.
Right.
And when you do, a lot of these companies are, I would categorize them less as real estate brokerages and more as technology companies.
Yeah.
You know, they
Makes
want to
sense.
be known for their technology. They want that platform. They want every agent on that platform. And starting a few years ago, you could start to see this coming where their real end focus is to get the client. They want client data. They want client information. They want to automate the process. And I think in the short term, that can be helpful for agents. We too want to have technology that makes our agents more efficient, right? And to do our job. And we want technology that makes our brokerage be able to review contracts quickly. And all those things are good for the industry. But there's a larger goal at play here, which is just what ChatGPT told you, which is a lot of these companies are focused so much on getting the client that the only thing that can change in that calculus is to diminish or eliminate the agent.
Sure.
And nobody is saying this out loud. It's not on the front page of any newspaper, but it's the logical conclusion. And some companies are not so guarded or secretive about it. They are out in the open about it. But you can see if they're making all these investments in technology to try and get the client data, one, the agent is going to be so reliant on that platform that they can't ever go anywhere else or do anything else. They'll have no choice. But two, the goal is to provide services directly to the client.
Sure.
And so that to me is the scary part. If I'm in one of these companies or thinking about going to one of these companies, is there is no doubt, and I'm in my mind, and everybody listening needs to understand this, there's no doubt that they are trying to significantly change and likely diminish the role of the agent in those companies.
Well, look, I've got several sources here that it gave me. One of them said the goal is to have platform agents rather than independent agents.
Yep.
The other likens all of this to what happened in the travel business and the financial business years ago. And it used a word that I in all transparency, had to look up because it was beyond my vocabulary, which isn't hard to do, but this one was. And the word was disintermediation. Disintermediation. And what I found out is, as it applies to the real estate brokerage sector, it says it examines conditions under which buyers and sellers bypass brokers altogether.
Yeah.
And, you know, I really didn't give that a lot of thought until you start digging into it and then looking at what's being said and what's happening.
That's right.
And it's pretty obvious.
It is. I think the first two, you know, there were two platforms that have existed before, not as real estate companies, but they were more platforms, listing platforms that got into the brokerage business.
Yeah.
They've been very clear about that.
Right.
They want the client, right? And they want to be able to like use the agent here and there, sparingly.
Yeah.
But you look at those companies and everything that's available in their strategic plans going forward, and it is truly they don't view the importance of the agent that you and I do.
Exactly.
Right. They view him more as transactionally.
Yep.
And I think when you look at number one of these public company CEOs, you know, refer to his company, he wants them to be known as a transaction machine.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that in a little bit. I don't love that. I don't want anyone to ever think of Meybohm in that way. But there was another public company CEO whose stated goal is to get to 90 agents for every one employee.
Correct.
And that's not one broker.
Yeah.
Or that's one employee.
Yeah.
That could even be an unlicensed employee. And so when you look at all of that, there is no question about it really that so many of these companies and these platforms are so focused on their tech platform to go directly to the client, which is going to completely minimize the role, responsibility, and compensation of the agent. So that's kind of the first bucket. That's what agent life will be inside one of these companies. The reverse of that is what about all the other agents? Right. And I think that's what interests me because, you know, I think you asked earlier, should you be concerned? Should you be worried if you're an agent? To me, if you're an agent somewhere like our company, I'd be
Right.
excited.
Absolutely.
Because I think that what's missing here is the importance of the agent. No matter what sort of technology is out there, we've talked about this before. COVID should have been the time that the real estate agent went away. It should have been. You could not have human interaction. That was very limited. People were buying houses online. All of that sort of cut into the relationship and should have been when these direct to consumer platforms went gangbusters. But as you and I know, you look at all the data, all the research, agent usage went up.
Yeah.
And so I firmly believe that as people are making the largest financial transaction of their lives, they want a human being.
Absolutely.
And our people are not just agents. They are, they provide guidance. They are advisors. They are therapists. Our company is full of countless stories of our agents, calling one of us at 10:30 at night and they're at someone's house packing up boxes. Or they're going over there in January when the pipes are about to freeze, dripping faucets for a vacant home.
Yeah.
So not only that, but I truly believe in the value of our clients needing our agents as people. And our people are so good at not only, I think that the way some of these other companies are thinking about it is too superficial and they don't really understand it. Our people are not just there to write the contract.
Right.
There's so many other things that they're able to do. They live in the community. Real estate is hyper local. There's so much market knowledge that these agents have, the relationships they have. I mean, one of the reasons why so many people use our company to list their house is we have the buyers.
Yeah.
Right. And when inventory is tight, particularly for a specific neighborhood or a property type. So take a historic home, for example, those houses are incredibly unique and every one of them is different. And our agents, know who lives there. They know who they bought it from. They know who's looking for that house. So all of that comes together. And that I think that if you're an agent that is either in a company like Meybohm or thinking about coming to a company like Meybohm, of course, we're supposed to say this, but I firmly believe that now is the time to get on the offense because I think that people selling people when it comes to real estate is becoming a little bit of a lost art. Or something that people don't do as well as they used to be able to do.
Yep.
And I think going forward, that's going to be even more valuable.
I couldn't agree more. And I've been the broker here for a long time. And you know me, my philosophy is I don't want to be a transaction machine. I want to be a relationship machine. I think that's what builds our industry. Now, I'm excited about the technology. I'm thankful that our company has embraced it and is using it and is on the cutting edge of it because we need it.
Right.
But at the end of the day, if I've learned anything over all these years, there's no cookie cutter. Every deal is different.
Right.
Every problem is different. Every home is different. Every buyer and seller are different.
Yeah.
And the agent, as you said earlier, who knows this market, who knows the transaction, they're able to provide an element that no amount of technology can do.
Yeah.
And you've mentioned something earlier about agents, going over and whatever, cutting grass, cleaning a house, dripping faucets. If I had $1 for every time I've heard of an agent doing that, to either hold a deal together or to help out, more importantly, help out a client who's maybe out of state or whatever, and they're over there getting this thing done.
Yeah.
And I don't think that will ever be replaced. I do agree that we've seen the role of the agent change. 100%. We're not salespeople anymore. We're all those things you named.
Right.
But there's that human element that I don't think will ever be replaced.
No, I agree.
And I'm glad our company that's the direction we're headed.
It is. That's right. So as we look at the industry going forward, a decision is being made. It's either going to be made for you or you get to make it.
Yeah.
And we have decided that there are two paths. There is a path focused on going straight to the client and diminishing the role of the agent, significantly changing the role of the agent, or doubling down on our business model and our people. Yep. And that is where we have chosen. And I want everybody to understand out there that's listening to this, because I hope this goes outside of just our agents and people in our company. I hope this is something the public needs to know. They need to understand this. But, this is not an interview with the former CEO of Blockbuster.
Right.
I firmly believe there's been so much focus really for the last 20 years on disruption.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as something comes along that's disruptive, people make the mistake of assuming that disruption means extinction. Sometimes it does. I mean, look at Napster or Blockbuster, you name it, right?
Yeah, right?
Companies that don't see what's coming and adjust, right? But you look at companies like Microsoft, right? Used to just focus purely on making personal computers. And now, I mean, they do so many different things, analytics, software, all that stuff. And they're a great example of a company that has seen, sort of what's coming and adapted. And so I tell people all the time when it comes to disruption and extinction, the escalator did not do away with the need for stairs.
That's right.
Right. So I think what we're trying to do is not just be a dinosaur and say, technology, blah, 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 blah. I think that we're starting to say, look, this is obviously artificial intelligence and technology are transformative. There is no doubt about that. Nobody is arguing with that. But what I think we're trying to realize is take a step back, take a longer view of this. And if you look at the long term, we've sort of seen this before. An example of that, I'll give you two quick examples. One is when I first got to Meybohm, there was a new online-based platform, and they were offering all this stuff, and it seemed really compelling on the surface. And I went to E.G. Meybohm's office, and I was telling him, I was like, man, what are we going to do? And he kind of just laughed. Not in a mean or insulting way. He just sort of, and so he just told me, he said, there's always a lion coming over the hill. That was his analogy. And that lion has worn a lot of different outfits over time. And so he talked about all of the different models that he's seen, but he still comes back to the power of the agent.
Absolutely.
And I think that's really, really compelling. That's kind of the first example I'll give. The second is, when we went to these Realty Alliance and industry meetings several years ago, before AI was the big topic and before consolidation was the big topic, it was iBuyers. Right.
Yes,
iBuyers dominated those conferences for 2 or 3 years. And so many of these platforms were doing what? They were going directly to the consumer. And these platforms themselves were buying a ton of houses, cutting out the agent, going straight to the client and buying those houses themselves. And I remember people were like, man, what are we going to do? We can't compete with these public companies that have billions of dollars and all of these algorithms and all this technology. But what happened is that the algorithms cannot compare 2 houses in Somerville, right? They can compare 2 that are 3 years old that were built in the same time in Scottsdale. Those 2 houses are very similar. So the algorithm can say it's 3 bedrooms, 3 bath, 1 car garage. This is what it's worth. Here's the offer that we're making. They did fine in those markets. Right. But you go down to Somerville and you've got 2 houses that are 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, same square footage, same area, same school district. Those are totally different homes. Completely different homes on so many different scales. So that is all of those companies that were super big, and I won't name the names, but they were spending billions on their iBuying program. They got slaughtered, and they all have stopped doing that. I mean, I don't know about you. I don't hear about iBuyers at all.
I haven't heard it in a while since you just mentioned it.
That's right. So those are 2 examples. And again, this is not sort of like we're building a wall around our company and plugging our ears. Our industry is definitely changing. And the way that the things that our agents need to be successful and to be more efficient, and our company to be more efficient, 100% are changing, and they've been changing for a while. And after the NAR lawsuit, it was sort of like that change went into hyperdrive.
It did.
But at the end of the day, when you go back to the basics, which is what we're doing, is I want to tell people out there that if you want to make this a career and you want to be a professional and you want to make the most money as you possibly can over a long period of time, you need to come to Meybohm.
Yes.
And I'm not just saying that, but everything that we've talked about so far, it has given us and leadership of this company a very clear idea as to where this industry is going and how we're a part of that going forward.
It has. It's given, and I speak for me, but I think it's saying exactly what you're saying. It's given me clarity, but it's also given me confidence.
Yes.
For I feel good about the direction we are going. And, I was around in the early 90s when the internet started. And the talk then was the internet It's going to put us out of business. That's the end of the real estate agent.
Sure.
Look, it changed how we did business.
Mm-hmm.
It shifted our role a little bit. But first of all, it helped us. It didn't hurt us as an industry. And secondly, it may have changed our role a little bit, but it did not diminish our value.
That's right.
And I think that's what's happening in our industry now. It's changing, but if we understand it and adapt and maximize the opportunity in it, we're not going to be just fine. We're going to be able to excel.
I agree 100%. I think that in the future, there may be less agents.
It absolutely will be, yes.
But I think that smaller group of agents are going to be professionals.
Yes.
They're not going to be salespeople. They will be advisors, just like you've got an advisor for, your stock portfolio or whatever else. These real estate advisors, that is the future of this industry. And there are obviously different companies out there playing a different game. I think that we need to understand how and why they're playing it, because that informs us to say, if we're focused on that advisor and we're focused on putting every dollar that our agent gives us in their split back into them, I think that that's super valuable, because when you look at one of the other things that a lot of these companies we're talking about have in common is they're all about your split, right? And we hear that over and over and over. That's not a new thing, but it's sort of like this shiny object that they put in front of our people. And it's like, hey, you made this much last year. Well, if you were at our company last year, here's what you would have made. And not only is that not an apples to apples comparison, but I think it's really important, if you want to be a professional and want to be one of these real estate advisors going forward, you should work for a company who cares about how much money you make.
No doubt.
Right? It's about incentives. So if I'm somewhere and I'm getting 100%, right? I get 100% commission. What goal or what reason do they have for me to make $100,000 a year or $1 million a year? It's only twofold. One, the more agents they get, the more client data they get as they go directly to the consumer. The second thing is if I can have somebody who's super successful over here, it helps me do what? Recruit other agents.
That's right.
So as opposed to our model, the incentives are aligned. Every dollar that we get from an agent split is reinvested back into that agent, because when they make more money, we make more money. Like if you're an agent here, I really care how successful you are.
Sure.
I really do.
Yeah.
Because that keeps the lights on. Right. So I think when you view it that way, I'm always happy to have any conversation, any agent, anytime wants to about split. Because the biggest misnomer in our industry is your split equals your income. And when you want to be a professional and you want to do the right thing, at the end of the day, we're all here to feed our families and make money. You will make the most money at this company. I can show you. And I think that what this industry change allows us to do is to tell that story in a more meaningful and powerful way.
And that's what we've got to do. And I mean, there's so much evidence, like you said, we can prove it, we can show it. And just the fact that so many of the top people are here when they could be anywhere.
Right.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
And I think when you look at all of this across the industry, in all fairness, as agents, we've got to do our part also to show our value.
Right.
I mean, we believe it's there. We know it's there.
Yeah.
But when you're out in the marketplace operating as an agent, and you know that the client these days has access to all the data, all the information, you have to create you have to show evidence and create a platform that shows your value.
That's right.
Why do you need me?
Yeah.
And I think our agents do such a great job of that, because again, it shows in the numbers. It shows in the amount of repeat and referral clients that we get.
Well, that's right. And I think what you're talking about is something we talk about a lot, which is it's not an accident. It's not accident that the people at our company are so successful. It's not an accident that our company is successful. It's very intentional. And I think when you focus on what the activities are that agent and our company do every day, it's all really hard work. It's just hard work.
Yes, it is.
It's like anything else. There are a lot of businesses maybe that are complicated. Ours is not complicated in what you have to do.
Yeah.
The complication is the consistency and the intentionality that you have when you do it.
Yeah.
And so I think that if we continue to stick to that, and our agents continue to stick to that, 100%, we're going to give them the best tools, the best technology. The AI-enabled agent is here to stay.
That's right.
But I think that when it comes to who we are and where we're going, getting back to the basics and maybe sometimes tuning out a little bit of the noise is what we need to be doing. I think our company has seen the impact and the success of that over the last 50 years. And that's what we're going to do to be successful for the next 50 years.
I am so excited about where we are as a company. Again, these industry evolutions, I think, play right into the strength of who we are.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited about that. I think, it's just a matter of us doing what we do and being intentional about it. And, before I walked down to do this with you, I was upstairs and heard one of the agents on the phone, and I was going to speak, but they stayed on the phone a little bit. So I just kind of stood there.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I heard somebody, I won't say saving a deal, but just neck deep in a transaction with a client. And I thought, knowing we were coming to talk about this, I thought there's no way that happens without that professional, well-trained, experienced agent who cares about the client.
Helping another person.
Yeah, because the technology is good, but it can't care.
Right.
And this guy this agent was doing just that and making it work.
That's right.
It just excites me where we are and where we're going as a company.
Yeah. So, I agree. I think it's a mindset that you've got to choose whether you're going to be focused on, I don't want to say efficiency, but the financial side versus the relationship side.
Yep.
And it just goes back to that quote we were talking about before, that 90-1.
Mm-hmm.
What you're talking about. How can you possibly have real estate advisors who are professionals in their industry with the support of one person? And it doesn't work.
Yeah.
We can show you the numbers and examples of how and why it doesn't work. But at the same time, it's just different.
Yeah.
And I'm not knocking the other models at all. I mean, they are public companies. They're successful, financially successful. But I think if your focus is really on having the agents back, don't talk to me about a split. Talk to me about a future.
Exactly.
And I think that's where we're going. And like you said, it's given us conviction as to what we're trying to do.
Well, I think what the way we're doing it is not only best for the agent, I think it's best for the client. And you just hit on it. I don't care whether you're a brand new agent or whether you've been a top performing agent for 20 years, the way the industry's changing and the complexity of it, you have got to have support.
Yeah.
And so I'm proud that our company has that brokerage support or broker support because
I mean, I have to in my job.
Well,
right?
And there's no way, we've got to protect our client, protect the public. And you can't do that if you're I don't think if you're trying to oversee,
if you've got one broker per state, that's right,
overseeing thousands of agents,
that's right.
I don't think that's fair to the agent or the client, more importantly. So I don't know, everything about this says we are positioned exactly where we need to be, not just to do more business and all that we're trying to do, but to do it the right way. For the right reasons. That is where at some point you got to get over just being transaction after transaction. You got to get into the fulfillment of helping people.
That's right.
And the American dream.
No, I love it. Well, I'm fired up. What are we doing in here?
Let's do it, man. Let's go. Well, I enjoyed it always, man.
Yeah, me too. Well, John, thank you so much for taking the time. I think this is super important. I hope people out there will listen to this. We'll think about it because I think it's important for people both inside and outside of our company.
Absolutely.
But thank you, man. I appreciate it as always.
Appreciate you, brother.
All right. See you guys next time. Thank you.